Oh, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Well, Star Trek Picard, episode 1 of season 3 is finally upon us. And the episode did not disappoint. I loved every moment of it. I think this was a great start to the new season of Picard. Got so much to unpack, little Easter eggs that appeared in the episode, the sort of buddy movie dynamic we had going on between Picard and Riker for pretty much the entire first episode. Seven as the first officer of the Titan, Captain Shaw, Beverly. We had so much going on in this episode, and it was really good to see Picard back on our screens again. And right from the opening graphic of this episode, where we had the in the 25th century, which was the exact same font and the exact same kind of opening as Star Trek II Wrath of Khan had that opening. Right from the very first frames of this episode, it really felt like the skeleton of this new season is pretty entrenched in the sort of tone and flavour of the original series feature films. You Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the original cast there. Just so many aspects of this new season opener took us in that direction. The opening shot with the old music track playing with the shots of various nebulas and so forth, that felt to me really similar to the opening for season 1, where we had the Enterprise D with Soji singing the Blue Skies song. It kind of felt very similar to that opening to season 1. So I'm sure that's no coincidence. And we get to see a bit of what is going on board the SS Helios, which is obviously Beverly's ship. Lots of little trinkets and things here. We got the old captain's log playing there from Picard, back from, I think it was one of his captain's logs from the Q Who episode, where they very first contact with the Borg. We obviously had other bits and pieces there as well, like Jack Crusher's old suitcase from the Stargazer days. It was kind of full of nostalgia, and really it's like, oh, look at that, oh, look at that. It's like very cool. And before long, we get to see Beverly and her ship getting boarded by a bunch of hostile aliens. And also the fact that there's a sort of a mystery other crewman on board, which she swiftly locks away in a room adjoining the bridge. And I gotta say, this opening scene with Beverly kicking butt with a phaser rifle, was it a phaser rifle or was it a phaser shotgun? It kind of had the kind of action going on, which we kind of haven't seen in a phaser rifle before. So it almost seemed like it was potentially I don't know, some sort of phaser rifle, phaser shotgun kind of hybrid. But nonetheless, good to see Bev kicking some butt while she kind of held off the intruders to her ship. We obviously get her sending the message to Jean-Luc, which is our kind of opening teaser moment. And then we get our opening title card. And I was kind of surprised because obviously normally we would have the long opening titles with music and everything, but we literally just got the title card with Star Trek Picard on it, which looks a little bit upgraded. Nice fancy font and everything there with the 3D aspect, which I think looked pretty cool. But yeah, no, just the Star Trek fanfare. No music or anything, which I obviously had saved for the end. We get a cute scene next with Laris and Jean-Luc talking about, putting some old bits and pieces in storage and, dusting off the old Enterprise painting and potentially giving it to Geordi and so forth. And just a little bit of a sense that the relationship between Jean-Luc and Laris has, I guess, grown since the last time we saw these two together at the end of season 2. We had that little moment between the two of them and the sense that they were sort of beginning a relationship together. And it seems like that's where we've gone since we last saw them. Nice amongst all of the other, bits and pieces on Picard's desk. He obviously has the Ressican flute from the Inner Light episode. That was kind of cool to see again. And we get to see a bit more of Beverly's distress call message and everything, which is, kind of very cryptic and mysterious and everything, and that, no Starfleet, no one can be trusted, and it's all secretive and everything. So it puts a good tone and that sense of mystery and foreboding to the beginning of this new season. Picard obviously goes to hunt down Riker, who's hanging out at a bar there, and it's everyone's getting kind of ready for this Frontier Day, and there's like Enterprise D merchandise. The scene actually starts with the shot of the little, in fact, it's a little Eagle Moss Enterprise D, collectible, much like I have in my background behind me. I thought it was funny that nobody wanted to buy the Enterprise D because they all considered it to be the fat-looking ship in the bar as part of the decorations for upcoming Frontier Day, which showcased some of the classic Starfleet ships of history, including Pike's Enterprise, the Enterprise D, Voyager, Archer's Enterprise, and also an USS Excelsior. And we had some really funny scenes. I think the little conversation between Riker and Picard, pretty much that sort of spanned this entire episode, with them kind of, bouncing back and forth a little bit. For example, Riker's line about who wants some old fart, being trotted out on this, Frontier Day to do a speech, and Picard says, oh, I'm doing a speech. Oh, well, yeah, of course, your speech will be wonderful, sir, as he, swiftly removed his foot from his mouth. That was funny. And there's a few little moments like that within this episode where that dynamic between these two, lifelong friends, I guess, was really kind of sweet to watch. Next, we get a scene with Rafi on a planet which is suspiciously sounding like the executive producer and showrunner, Metalis. Terry Metalis, he didn't really change his name all too much for this renaming of this planet where Rafi, where we initially think that Rafi, oh dear, Rafi's fallen off the wagon again. She's using drugs again. She's getting kicked out of Starfleet. Oh, Rafi, what have you done? What the hell's going on? This isn't good. But we soon find out that it is all, in fact, a bit of a ruse. She is, in fact, an undercover operative for Starfleet intelligence. And she's doing some reconnaissance about this potential terror attack, which is upcoming. And nobody seems to know what's going to happen or what the target is or who is, a threat. But, she's sort of struggling living in the seedy underbelly of the Federation. Because obviously she's had issues in the past with substance abuse and all that sort of stuff, and she's sort of doing her best to kind of stay away from it, but you kind of get a sense that is she going to succumb to the vices of her past? It seems like some very devastating weapon, well, not necessarily a weapon, not meant to be a weapon, it's some sort of device that sort of opens portals or something, has been stolen from the Daystrom Institute and is being utilised as a weapon. And they're trying to find this red lady where this attack's going to occur. It's all very covert. I love the space dock scene here. I mean, it harks back to all those grandiose space dock scenes from Star Trek 3 and Star Trek 6. There's something about, glory shots of the hero starship whilst in space dock that just, I don't know, have a warm place in your heart somewhere. And I love the kind of the ruse that they kind of come up with to get on board the Titan. Obviously, Riker being the former captain of the Titan, and this is the new Titan. This is a refit of they've taken a bit of the skeleton of his old starship and they've created the new A Titan and everything. And Riker's using that as a bit of an in to get their hands on a starship to go and help save Beverly. I found it really interesting to note when they obviously got on board the Titan that 7 of 9 no longer is going by 7 of 9. Her captain, Liam Shaw, has ordered the fact that she be referred to as Annika Hansen, Commander Annika Hansen, not 7 of 9, which I guess is reasonable. Hugh found himself a name and stuck with it. He didn't feel the need to just keep calling himself 2 of 5 or 3 of 6 or whatever his original Borg name was. He kept going by Hugh. So I guess when you think about it, 7 has been detached from the Borg Collective for long enough to, I guess, go back to her old name, which, particularly now that she's in Starfleet, makes a bit of sense. Cool to see Sydney LaForge, Geordie LaForge's daughter, as the helmsperson on board the Titan. That was a nice little a link there. The whole leaving space dock scene, right out of Star Trek 3, it just brought back all those old memories from those original series feature films, which I thought it did a really good job of capturing the spirit of. Next, we had the dinner with Captain Shaw with Picard and Riker. Loved this scene. Captain Shaw, Todd Stashwick, well done. Awesome scene. Awesome character, Captain Shaw. What a funny what a funny scene this was. You'd think he would give these two very decorated Starfleet officers a bit more of the time of day, but it's like, no, he just gave them absolutely nothing. You want to go want to do this mission? No, nah, not having a bar of that, not interested. You're old and retired and you haven't got a captaincy anymore, so I'm not listening to anybody, you know. Crusty old kind of, you know, Starfleet captain that just, he just doesn't put up with anything, this guy. I love him sort of ripping on Riker's jazz appreciation, I suppose. The fact that he said he had to rip all these old like jazz tunes or something out of the old computer system, which probably got transferred from the old Titan that Captain Riker was the captain of. And the fact that they had a bit of a debate over the merits of jazz and everything, I thought was quite funny. Sure is just a captain that just doesn't take any shit. We see Rafi having a bit of a stealthy conversation via text back on the La Sirena. She's obviously captain of the La Sirena now, as part of her job, I guess, with Starfleet intelligence. And it seems like whoever the Starfleet intelligence officer that is her handler is going to turn out to be somebody, you know, we might know. And based on scenes from the trailer where we see Rafi having a bit of a fight with Worf, I'm guessing maybe it's Worf.
The handler did use the expression warrior in their text messages, so that's something Worf would say.
That would be my guess if I had to put a guess on it. It was funny to see Picard and Riker stuck in the bunk rooms like a couple of ensigns. It's sort of like could sure be even more you know, denigrating to these two Starfleet veterans. And before long, Seven obviously realises there's something dodgy going on between Riker and Picard, and she wants in on the plan. She's obviously a little bit conflicted about her position in Starfleet. She doesn't maybe have the same sort of belief in herself that Picard and Janeway had to put her in the position that she's in, and she, you know, she likes to follow her heart and follow her instincts and not necessarily follow orders too well. So she's kind of jumping on the Picard and Riker bandwagon. And it turns out that this red lady that Rafi's been hunting down as the potential target for the terror attack seems to be the statue of Rachel Garrett, who was the captain of the Enterprise C. The statue or a memorial or whatever outside the front of a big Starfleet
Recruitment centre.
which promptly gets taken out in a massive terror attack by this weapon that's been stolen from Daystrom Institute, which looks like a gigantic sort of portal weapon where it creates a void in the ground, which the building gets pulled down into, and then the portal opens up over the city and just drops the contents of the building on top of the city. So this is pretty devastating weapon.
We also see some news regarding the decommissioning of the Enterprise F here on the right of frame, and also on the left of frame we see a photo of what appears to be the new Voyager B.
Back with Riker and Picard, they obviously steal a shuttle to go and see if they can rescue Beverly from the SS Elios, where they promptly board the ship and before long meet the other crewman who we saw in the shadows banging on the door and Beverly locking in a back room in the opening, that it is in fact her son. Okay, this is what we kind of thought, that Ed Spielers was potentially playing the son of Beverly Crusher, which we kind of thought that would potentially be the case. Now the question is this character the son of Jean-Luc Picard or somebody else? Let's do a little bit of math here and see if we can work out roughly when he would be born. Now, Ed Spielers was born in 1988. Now, 1988 was the year of season 2 of Next Generation. This would be the year that Beverly was off working at Starfleet Medical, and Dr. Pulaski was on board the Enterprise, give or take between, say, season 2 to season 4, say, of Next Generation. In which case, Beverly was on board the Enterprise D for that whole time, apart from that 1 year at Starfleet Medical when Dr. Pulaski was the doctor. So it seems a little bit odd that if she was to have a baby around this time, certainly wasn't born on the Enterprise D and coming along with them for, you know, missions and all that sort of stuff during the course of the Enterprise D's run.
Maybe Picard got Beverly pregnant during the events of The Naked Now in season 1, and part of the reason that she left to go to Starfleet Medical was to have this secret baby out of the prying eyes of the Enterprise crew.
And then put him up for adoption or something? That kind of seems a little bit odd. Yeah, I'd be very interested to know what the hell is going on here. But I'm sure we'll get more light shed on this mystery in future episodes. At the end, we clearly see the Shrike, the big bad-looking ship, Vatic's ship or whatever, come out of the nebula threateningly, and as to where we end the episode. And obviously the end episode itself concludes with the post, not the opening title sequence, but a closing title sequence where it's all the LCAR's control panels and everything with all our cast members and everything on it, while the sort of a medley of the First Contact theme and the Next Generation theme, obviously both from Jerry Goldsmith, play in the background, which I think is really lovely to use both of those themes in our closing title sequence here for this episode. And also the fact that the episode was dedicated to Annie Wershing, who passed away recently. Tragedy that she did such a good job last season playing the Borg Queen. And obviously she, tragically passed away recently. So I was glad that they dedicated the episode to her. The end credits as well, using the old TNG font that they use on Next Generation, and they also use that same font as well in Lower Decks as well. So good to see that old TNG font being put to good use again. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, don't be shy to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. Look, guys, I really loved this first episode. I think it was great. I think we had some great nostalgia. Great to see Riker and Picard and Beverly and everything back on screen again. Had some really funny moments, as well as some good moments of action, and love the score as well. I thought the new composer Stephen Barton did a great job with the music as well. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more of his musical themes and everything as we progress through the season. So well done with music there from him. Don't forget to like and comment on this video, and leave a super thanks if you're able to. It really helps the channel out, much appreciated. And also check out my merch in my merch store. Links in the description where you can pick up all my hoodies and mugs and caps and everything with heaps of different Star Trek themed designs and everything. So be sure to check that out for a great bargain. I'll be back very soon with my next video. I'll catch you guys soon.